Okay, here are the answers worked out for questions 16 to 20. Here's question number 16. They want us to solve this. Normally, I would suggest to plug the answers in and see which one works, but these being fractions, maybe it'd be easier just to do algebra, right? Like distribute, give us negative 12x plus 15, right? Negative times negative. And then 2 minus 10x, right? Got x's on both sides, so maybe we'll add a 10x to both sides to get rid of that one. Subtract 15. Divide by negative 2. Negatives cross out. We get x equals 13 halves, which we can see is choice K. Okay, question 17, our first trig question. They want to know what's the sign of A. So pretty much in all the trig, you just have to remember the acronym, right? S stands for sine, opposite, hypotenuse. We're dealing with angle A here. So what is opposite of it? 7. What's the hypotenuse? 9. So the answer is letter D, 7/9. Again, just need to know this. That'll get you through the 5 or 6 trig questions. Okay, question 18. We'll do this one on the calculator next, but I want to do it using without a calculator just to help people see what's going on here. Now, 27 is the same thing as 3 to the third power, and 64 is the same thing as 4 to the third power. Now this whole thing is to the negative 2/3 power, and we remember when we've got a power to a power, we multiply, right? So it becomes 3 to the negative 6/3s. And then when I take 3 to that power, that would be divided by 4 to the negative 6/3. Wow, okay. So this really turns out to be 3 to the negative 2 over 4 to the negative 2. I don't see any negative exponents in here, but I know that to make exponents positive, put them in the denominator, or if they're in the denominator, put them in the numerator. Well, do the powers, 16/9, the letter J. Now you can also do this on the calculator. So again, alpha y equals, choose the first one for the fractions, and I'm going to type in 27/64. And then I'm going to raise this to the negative 2/3. So negative, and again it's alpha y equals, choose the fraction, negative 2/3. There's our answer. Just typing it in, not too big a deal. Okay, that was number 18. Question number 19. Question says, how many yards less would he walk if he could walk directly from the back door to the barn door? Key is, how many yards less would he walk? Not how many total yards, but how many yards less. Well, we need to remember north, south, east, west. And we are told that this person walked 8 yards east. So 8 yards east, 6 yards north, 12 yards east, and 5 yards north. Now, if he was walking all this way, right, adding up all those numbers, that turns out to be 31 yards, right? Which I think some people selected as an answer. Again, the question asks, how many yards less would he walk? So what if he were to travel this straight line? I'll bet you that would be a lot less. Well, I happen to see a right triangle here, and if I add up these two numbers, right, I've got my right triangle where those two bottom numbers would add up to be 20. And then the height are 5 and 6, which are 11. And we're trying to figure out that missing side. So I think we've got a little Pythagorean theorem going on here. So c squared turns out, well actually c, right, type them in, take the square root. C turns out to be 22.8, which I do see a 23 there. Again, be careful. So he would have been walking 31 yards. If he did the short way, it would have been 22.8 yards, which would be a difference of 8.2. Which one's closest to that? Letter A. Reading is so important on this question. It really is. People miss it because they did not read. Okay, number 20. We are given, they want to know, given all this information, what would the raw score x be? Well, luckily they give us a formula, right? I'm just going to plug in the stuff they tell us, like z is equal to 2. We do not know what x is. Mu is 78. Our standard deviation there is 6. So we're just going to solve for x. Well, I think multiply both sides by 6 first to cancel that out. Add 78 to both sides, and we get an answer of 90.